Hey guys, welcome back to another weekly video with me. I never thought that I would actually put this video out, but in honor of this past Wednesday, which is today, being National Coming Out Day, I wanted to share my story with you guys because I feel like my story is actually far more different than those of others that I've seen, simply because I wasn't always gay. When I was growing up, I was obsessed with men. I mean, I remember being 5 years old, and I don't know if you guys ever watched Cinderella Story with with Hilary Duff and that guy Chad. Super obsessed with him. I loved him. I had a poster of him in the back of my bed, and I remember when I was little, I would like kiss it, or like I once made out with it. Like, Jesus Christ, that's so embarrassing, but that's the truth. I was like hella like boy crazy, and I had my first kiss when I was in 2nd grade, and ever since then, like, I never ever noticed myself looking at women, ever. I always just thought I was tomboyish. Growing up, I like boxed with my dad and my brother, and I would play with my brother more than I would play with my sister. I played with dolls, but I didn't really like it. I never noticed anything different about me. I thought it was just kind of normal. You don't notice these things when you're little. I had a boyfriend from like 5th grade to 8th grade. I remember I was in gym class. Funny, I say this because I guess exactly on this day, October 11th, which is National Coming Out Day, I had made a remark. I remixed Justin Bieber's song, and I was like, if you give your first time to me, I promise I'll be gentle and I'll give you a baby. And I guess this girl thought I was directly singing it to her or something like that, and she felt uncomfortable, and she started this rumor that I was gay. And since then, my life changed. I was kind of bullied about it. People would always say that about me. People would look at me differently. I mean, I remember becoming so depressed and sad, and I wasn't understanding where this was coming from, and I finally had gotten to the last bits of it because little by little I was finding out who were saying these things about me, and these were people who were my friends. These were people who I thought I had a genuine friendship with, and when I found this out, my heart was broken. So not only did I have this rumor stuff going on around me that was breaking my heart, I had my friends turning their back on me, and I was very, very confused, and nobody would tell me, but apparently my closest friends knew where it was coming from. And I think that was like one of the biggest heartbreaks I think I've ever been through emotionally. I didn't want it to be true. I didn't want people to actually be right about me, because I remember telling them it wasn't who I was. And to be honest with you, it wasn't who I was. I don't recall anything up until about 8th grade. The first time I ever noticed any changes was in 8th grade. I had a crush on a girl, which was weird for me, and never said anything. I was becoming more aware of who I was. I was maturing, I was going through puberty, my hormones were changing, things were just going, and I was so unbalanced. Something very, very traumatic happened to me my 8th grade year, and I just remember changing, and ever since then I was never the same person. I viewed life differently. Things were changing in my head, things were changing in real life, and I just didn't know how to deal with the situation. So the thought of me ever having a crush on a girl was just kind of pushed to the side, and I would get very irritated when people would try to tell me who I was, because it's very annoying when you don't know who you are yourself, and it's like you're discovering new things about yourself, and people were telling you who you are, and it's like, that's not exactly who you wanted to be. I know it sounds ridiculous, because how are you not gonna know who you are? But I really had no idea. I'd never felt this way before. It was something so new to me. I felt so vulnerable. I felt so lost. I felt like I was going crazy. And at some point I thought it was society pushing it on me, because people were telling me that I was gay. I was like, oh, then I guess I am, but that wasn't right. I wasn't what people were telling me. People don't have to tell me who I am. And I think I realized that 9th grade and 10th grade I had boyfriends, and I put it behind me, but I would always hear that little remark. I remember being in high school, I lost a lot of friends. I would have close girlfriends, and the rumor that would come attached to our friendship is that we're dating, secretly dating. Honestly, people don't realize that you are really, really messing up somebody's life. You are messing up somebody's reputation. You are beating them up emotionally. And mentally, it was the most exhausting thing I've been through, was when people were trying to tell me who I was when I didn't even know myself. I was very angry at life, and I couldn't understand why. I was a very, very angry person, and I just couldn't get over it. And I never pinpointed the fact that I just wasn't being who I was. I thought I was being the most genuine person that I could be, but I was disregarding one aspect about myself, and that was something I never wanted to be true. I didn't want people to be right about that. I had been telling them I wasn't my whole life, And I remember when I cut my hair in 11th grade, I made a video where I was saying that I wasn't gay just because I cut my hair, because I was getting a lot of comments about it. And I've always wanted to cut my hair since I was in like 6th grade. I didn't think anything of it because I've always wanted to. But by little did I start noticing like these physical changes were starting to become emotional changes. And I was picking up on it, but I was so scared. I remember crying myself to sleep so many times because I was afraid to be who I really was, or to finally be who I found out I was. And that was one of the hardest things. Like, a lot of people know that they're gay since they're young, and I think it's easier that way because at least you can always go back and be like, oh yeah, I always knew I was gay, I always knew something was different. But for me, I started changing as time went on, and I never understood why. I was so confused and so lost, and I had nobody to talk to. I am the only gay person in my family. I am the gay cousin. You know how they say, if you don't have a gay cousin, you are the gay cousin? That's me. And it took me a long time to actually figure it out. And I was scared of what my family was going to say. I grew up in a Catholic home, and I went to church every Sunday with my mom. I didn't know how my family was going to react. I had never had anybody in the family do it before me. I had to be the person who took the first step up the ladder, and I didn't know how. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to say. I never admitted to myself that I was gay until 11th grade, 2nd semester, when I finally sat there and told myself in a mirror, and I just remember bawling my eyes out because it was reality and it was something I didn't want. And it's not because I'm ashamed of who I am. I'm very proud of who I am. It was just very, very sad to be giving in to everything that people were saying about me, and I felt like I was losing myself, and I felt like I was giving them the right to say, I told you so. I was scared. I was afraid. I was alone. I met the greatest friends I've ever had in my life. They taught me to love myself for who I am. The first person I told, I remember, was my ex-boyfriend. It was the first time I said it to someone else. I felt like I had like this whole weight lifted off my shoulders. The only people I had told after that was my 2 closest friends. I never officially came out until I was dating my first girlfriend senior year, first semester. I wasn't ready to come out. I wasn't ready to tell my family. I wasn't ready to tell people. I had just figured it out like 6 months before that. But I was in a toxic relationship, and the truth came out. And my mom read a note that my ex-girlfriend had wrote to me, and she saw that it said girlfriend, and from there my life changed drastically. Looking back at it, that's not how I would want my family to find out who I am or anything like that. But it happened, and I'm thankful that it happened. I wouldn't want to go back at all. Ever since being who I am, I'm so comfortable with myself. I'm not angry at myself anymore. I don't hold such anger within my body. I don't feel like I'm hiding anything from anybody. It's not easy being a part of the LGBT community at all. It's so hard. And judgment is placed everywhere. I am so thankful that I had a lucky, good ending story where my family accepted me for who I am. They love me regardless. I have accepting friends who are willing to love absolutely everything about me. Friends from high school who were against gay people are still my friends, and they have been open-minded. If there's anything I can tell you guys, if you're having troubles right now being who you are, you're scared of your family, or you're scared of what people might think, or you're scared of you're scared of yourself, the best thing I can do is tell you to give it time. Give yourself time to just think about it and accept it yourself, because you can never truly be happy until you're acceptant of who you are and who life has chosen you to be. I didn't choose to be this way. It just happened, and it was the most confusing time of my life to sit there and be like, my hormones are changing. Why is this happening? Why am I looking at women now when I used to just look at men? Like, I had really bad depression and anxiety, and I was just going through so much mentally. And when I finally just let all those little worries out and I was able to be who I was so much happier. If they don't accept you for who you are, you really don't need them in your life, because it's who you are and you're never going to be able to change it. And they're never going to be able to change it. So to be exactly who you're meant to be is the most precious thing that you can do for yourself. Don't be afraid to be who you are. That was the most difficult thing I've ever done. And it wasn't easy, but I got there. And to all the people who were like, I told you so, I knew you were blah, 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 blah. That to me is like a slap in the face. Why are you making those comments? I didn't know. I didn't know who I was. What do you get out of it? A fucking trophy for telling me who I am? No, you let that person tell you what they are, and don't ever assume anything about anybody. I lost so many friendships due to people making up rumors, because if I could have clarified it with him, I would have. I would have been like, yeah, I'm gay, but I don't feel that way for you. But because I was afraid of what everybody was telling me or telling other people, and I was afraid of the judgment that I was getting, I wouldn't say anything, and I would lose these friendships because people were assholes. If you're struggling, just know that you're not alone. There are so many of us who go through the same thing or even different. You don't have to make any announcements to anybody. You don't have to come out to anybody. You owe nobody an explanation. Yeah, I just want to let you guys know that I appreciate all the love regardless of who I am and all the support you guys give me. It's incredible to see how open-minded the world is becoming, and I feel a lot better in this world being who I am. And I thank you guys. If you guys need any advice, come to me, because I will be here to talk to. I promise, even if we don't have the same story, I'm sure we are feeling the same way in some kind of way. Don't be afraid to reach out to anybody.